song in our history. And so it's in the liner notes, you can see that. But we're going to do a song right now by a guy named Carl Perkins. Carl Perkins, of course, is one of the heroes of rock and roll, kind of in some ways an unsung hero of rock and roll. He wrote Blue Suede Shoes, and he had a big hit with Blue Suede Shoes. And RCA Records had just bought the contract for he was on the same record label as Elvis Presley, and a lot of you know this stuff. Elvis and Carl Perkins and Jerry Lee Lewis, Roy Orbison, a lot of them were greats who were on Sun Records out of Memphis. And Elvis's contract got sold to RCA Records. And Sam Phillips from Sun Records took that money and he released Blue Suede Shoes by Carl Perkins. Well, RCA Records up in New York, they called him on the phone and they said, you really screwed us around. You sold us this Elvis Presley guy when the whole time you had Carl Perkins who can write his own songs and play lead guitar, and you really screwed us around this time. He said, no. He said, I sold you the right guy. Just put out Elvis's record. He'll do just fine for you. So the first thing one of the first things they wanted Elvis to do was to record the song Blue Suede Shoes. So Carl Perkins had a bad car accident. He was in the hospital. He got a phone call from Elvis saying, I'm going to record Blue Suede Shoes if you don't mind. So the rest is history. But anyway, I'm getting long-winded here. My wife tells me I'm long-winded. I call it interesting. But anyway, we got to open up for Carl Perkins one time. And it was a really fun show, and after the show I went backstage and there was a row of chairs. No one was back there except him sitting on this row of chairs by himself. And so he invited me to sit down with him, and I sat down and he proceeded to tell me funny stories for an hour and a half. And I could tell that he was getting as big a kick out of the whole thing as I was getting a kick out of hearing these great stories about when they were young. And one of his points that he made, he said, we were all so young and dumb. He said, we were fresh off the farm, and we were super glad to be involved with anything that didn't involve picking cotton. So he said, we had stars in our eyes. We were really grateful to be there. But we did a lot of dumb stuff, and he told me all these funny stories that him and Johnny Cash and him and Elvis did. And they were very young, and they were big stars still. But anyway, every story ended with, that's how stupid we were. So he was an awesome person and the best celebrity encounter of my life. And without getting into all those stories, we're just going to do a little Carl Perkins thing right now. This is one he